All right, everyone, welcome back. Today, I have a very special guest with me today, DeFi Daddy, and we're going to be talking about crypto and everything. Before we get into that, DeFi Daddy, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, let's.
Introduced by none other than Aaron himself. My name is DeFi Daddy. I've been in crypto since 2016. I take a pretty traditional finance viewpoint from the market. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. I love Bitcoin, and my second favorite thing is to, of course, FUD Aaron's bags every day of the week.
And that's interesting that you love Bitcoin so much because ICP helps Bitcoin. But we'll get into all that in a second. But today, let's just talk about what is your current outlook right now on, the crypto macro or, just the macro in general. What are you saying?
So obviously, the markets are loving the Donald Trump victory. So we can get some W's in the chat for Donnie bringing home the W. And I think it's really compelling that I think we're in a honeymoon phase, right? The elections are gone. FOMC was last week. We know we're having Republican leadership, but obviously he's not getting inaugurated until January. So I think we're in a bit of a honeymoon phase where the market is trying to reprice a whole bunch of different things. Gary Gensler getting fired, right? That is a very big ticket
That's
item.
a very big deal. Yeah.
The Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, that's another huge item. We have Vivek and Elon redefining government spending with Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. We have Robinhood and Coinbase listing meme coins left and right. And so I think we're in a honeymoon phase. I don't think we're just going to green dildo all the way till Valhalla. I think we are going to have some kind of pullback that are going to make the noobs question their decisions and sell the lows. But obviously this price action is euphoric, right? Bitcoin set its all-time high just around $94,000 yesterday. Currently trading at about $89,000. Who would have seen this coming?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely insane. I thought, my outlook before the election was regardless of who wins, they're going to be positive on crypto. Obviously, Trump winning is more bullish. I didn't think it would be this bullish. I didn't think it would be, basically routing to 100K this quickly. I thought we'd get to 80K very quickly and then kind of stall a little bit, then get to 100K in 2025. We're not there yet, but it's looking like it's very, very real and could happen soon. Gary Gensler getting fired is very, very bullish. I don't think a lot of people understand this, that literally most crypto companies, that they were spending pretty much all their legal fees and all their legal time just dealing specifically with the SEC. They would literally just be like, our legal time out of, like 90% of it, more than that, like 99% of it was just spent dealing with the SEC. I don't think people understand that, how big of a burden it was on these crypto companies. So it's absolutely changing the landscape and everything that Gary's getting out. And hopefully we'll have, a more friendly SEC, which is, we're probably looking like, Trump has a DeFi project. So it's probably going to be, accompanying his bags, of course. And then we have the U.S. Strategic Reserve where it's like, the U.S. government's buying Bitcoin, and that's going to make all the other countries basically buy Bitcoin. If that does play out, which is going to be an insane game theory, basically Michael Saylor was right. So, kind of scary. What do you think about that? Is he going to go down as like the greatest trader of all time, or like what's going to happen?
Yeah, dude, he was getting clowned on in the bear market lows. He was on the front page, I believe it was of The Economist or the Bloomberg magazine, being like, Saylor's big bet went wrong. And now he's sitting on billions of dollars in unrealized profit. And he has called it from start to finish that corporations are going to adopt Bitcoin as a reserve asset. Countries are going to adopt Bitcoin as a reserve asset. And I think it is fundamentally foolish to think that America, the home of the most robust capital market on planet Earth, is going to be the first and only country to adopt a strategic reserve of like the Western G7 NATO countries, however you want to divide it. And so this is the opportunity to front run the U.S. government. They said they are going to buy 200,000 Bitcoin a year, and all existing Bitcoin are going to be held with the intent to never sell.
Yeah.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Bitcoin maxi as president. Maybe not Bitcoin maxi, but like strategically involved in Bitcoin. He's also an Ethereum DeFi dev. Yeah, the World Liberty Finance may have been a flop, but my brother in Christ, he's deployed on ETH. Right? He made a token. He had a pre-sale.
Yeah, he had a fucking pre-sale. I don't think people understand how crazy that is. The
And
team
he made Bitcoin NFTs, he made Ethereum NFTs, he made NFTs on Matic. Yeah, he's grifting.
Yeah, no shit.
He's extracting value. Obviously, his presidential run was expensive. But god damn, ladies and gentlemen, you can't ask for a better timeline than this. The simulation just keeps cooking.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, I think, and I said this, I made a video on this. I think, he's going to pump, I think DeFi, we're going to have another DeFi season, and it's going to be because Trump. I think Trump's going to come out and say, hey guys, my bags, DeFi, are the future of finance. And I think it's going to happen. I think it 100% will. I think he's going
I've
to
been shouting that from the rooftop, man. Do not fade DeFi ahead of American regulatory certainty. That is the number one mistake that I think people could make right now, is because, like you said about, there's been all these litigations with the SEC and crypto companies. And if you look at who they're actually suing, it is decentralized finance protocols for like 90% of the cases. The SEC in 2023 alone costed $500 million in legal fees to these crypto protocols, companies, foundations, labs, etc. $500 million in legal fees to mostly DeFi companies. We get a new head of the SEC, we get DeFi regulatory certainty, and it's going to be DeFi summer all over it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's also going to allow the floodgates to come in. The floodgates of money are going to be opened up. All that boomer, trad money that wants to touch DeFi is going to be able to really get in there. And I think, I'd consider myself, when it comes to crypto, pretty much a DeFi maxi. I think it's the most important sector in crypto. I think it's the best product market, excluding stable coins. Okay. I think it is the most important sector. I think it has the best product market fit. It's where all the users are. And I think, once again, like you said, we're going to see some real clarity in the US on this, which is going to allow all the money to come in and everything. And I think the industry's going to get completely legitimized. I think last cycle, it was still kind of a fucking joke. I mean, like, just if people on the street, like with normies, it was a joke. I mean, but I think this is a cycle where it's like, oh no, it's real now. So because Trump's going to come out and talk about it, which is an absolute game changer. But what are you feeling? What are you seeing from DeFi right now? Like, where are the DeFi ecosystems you're liking, et cetera, plays, et cetera?
Realistically, if you look at like where I spend my attention and where I'm looking, it's pretty much all Solana. So Solana really is where the activity is this bull run. I don't really think there's a doubt about that. Obviously, Jupiter is shipping products like nobody's business. They have the single best DeFi product currently available in all of crypto. And then, of course, you have smaller, more DEX options like Radium, Orca, Camino, Drift, Tensor. I mean, Tensor is an NFT exchange, but I think pretty much just everything in Solana in terms of DeFi picks, it's like Solana is the ocean. It hit a market cap in terms of all-time high. It's going to $1,000 this bull run, not financial advice. It is the ocean, and it is going to lift all of the boats in its ecosystem.
Yeah.
And so when you look, one metric that I find particularly compelling is when you take 24-hour volume of on-chain transactions. So in this instance, last 24 hours, Solana has done around $4 billion in on-chain settlement. And then you divide it by the total value locked. That gives you the proportion of TVL that is being used in 24 hours. I call it churning, right? How much of your TVL are you using in 24 hours? Solana is usually above 50%. So that means each dollar, 50 cents of it's being used in 24 hours. Back in March 2024, that ratio was over 1.0. So that means the average dollar was being used more than one time in 24 hours, that's crazy. Because when you compare that to Ethereum is barely using 10%. So 10 cents of every dollar is being used in 24 hours. And so that increases the ecosystem liquidity so much because Solana incentivizes spending. Because it is so cheap, because it is so fast, because there's so much happening, it encourages users to make plays, and it's a self-reinforcing loop. Yeah, there's hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of rug pulls a day, but that's just crypto, baby.
Yeah.
You got to survive.
Yeah, for sure. And when it comes to rug pullers, the more scammers are in your ecosystem, it means more motion. Everyone knows this. If your ecosystem doesn't have scammers, it just means nothing's happening. It means there's no liquidity to steal. But yeah,
scammers follow the news.
No, yeah, it's true. And I completely agree with you. I was a big I was a big proponent of Solana. As I was talking to you earlier about Radium at the lows. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to capitalize that trade, but it was actually Ansem. So before Ansem really took off, I've known him for years now. We talked and stuff, and we followed each other for years. He was the one who really, damn it, I'm lagging. But he was the one who got me into the ecosystem and everything. And I was buying a lot of Solana sub 17. I did exit my position around $200, so I kind of got out of it. Right now I think there's, once again, a solid 5x. I think it'll hit 1,000, but I think the ecosystem, I think it's stupid. I think kind of the general rule when it comes to trading is like, you don't want to, especially kind of like, I remember this from last cycle. So you don't want to fade the winner chain of that cycle. Solana's the winner chain of this cycle. So you want to have some, obviously not financial advice, but you want to have some capital in some, ecosystem plays you believe in. I'm not a trader. I'm not like a big, I'm in the fucking trenches on Pump Fund and all that stuff. I'm not doing all that. So I have like a couple. I'm really only invested in one coin right now in Solana that I like a lot, and then I'm probably going to I'll probably ride it, take some profit, shave it off, move it to another coin in Solana. But I'm only picking coins that I'm super that I'm fairly confident in. I don't want to like go gambling and stuff. Solana I think is like it's if you're a trade, I like Sui. So we were talking about this earlier, but I think Sui is a really nice ecosystem to trade in. I recently got into it. And I think kind of the difference is between Sui and Solana. Of course, Solana has more action, more volume, liquidity, duh. But Sui's it's a lot newer. Newer as in like there's not as much activity, which is like, it's not as fast paced, which can be seen as a benefit. I think you have a higher likelihood, I think right now, on hitting on Sui than Solana. Of course, but you have more upside on Solana. You saw Peanut, which one of my friends got in at 100K but fumbled the bag. Peanut ran.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I know. Peanut ran to 2 billion or whatever now. It's like, it's ridiculous. So, but I think Solana is super, super strong. I'm bullish on it. I think it's obviously the winner chain for this cycle. And then Sui, I think, is strong. And I have to show my own bags, of course. Like ICP, DeFi has been historically like super, super weak. But, it's getting better. So I'm the CMO for this new DEX that came out a month ago called Kong Swap. And we have a new front end getting deployed soon, and we're going to be going cross-chain. We're talking to like Tap Protocol. That is the like number one place for the Bitcoin DeFi stuff like that. So we're going to be leaning into some of that with the ICP chain fusion. But I'm a DeFi maxi, and I think really like if you go to any ecosystem, whether it's fucking, Solana, Ethereum, whatever, Pulse chain even, whatever, I think all the DeFi plays on pretty much every single chain are going to do fairly well when Trump gives it the massive kick. That's my thesis.
I agree. I think, because if you think about it, like, meme coins are the extrapolation of DeFi. People clearly like meme coins. We are in a meme coin super cycle. Yeah. Like, if you talk to our exit liquidity, and I'm going to make some stereotypes here, but our exit liquidity doesn't know what market cap is.
Oh. They're not here yet. The real exit liquidity is not here yet.
I was buying Litecoin in 2016 because it was cheaper than Bitcoin, and I was like, well, when it goes to Bitcoin's price, I'll make a lot of money. We've all been there, man.
Yeah, unit bias is real. That is true.
Yeah, 100%. And so we are in a meme coin super cycle. I've been saying so since December 2023, because if you look at our exit liquidity, A, they don't know what market cap is. B, when they buy something, they want a lot of it. And C, when they're talking about crypto, when they're doing their deep dives, when they're doing their research, do they want to understand how XRP is going to revolutionize the inefficient remittance structure of global payments? Do they want to look into how ICP's technology is superior to alternatives? Do they want to understand how Ethereum's proto-sharding and sharding sequelae are going to revolutionize modular infrastructure? Fuck no.
They don't.
They're going to buy the dog with hat because it's a dog with a hat. Or they're going to buy Pepe because it's a frog they kind of recognize. And so if you're like me and you believe in the meme coin super cycle, DeFi is the infrastructure to capitalize on that. It's plain and simple, right? If people are buying Solana shitters, they're probably buying them on Jupiter. And if they're buying them through Jupiter by extrapolation, they're probably buying them on Radium. And so having that kind of architecture, I think, is really important to understand, because DeFi is the direct benefactor to the meme coin super cycle. Hate it or love it, You got to trade the market that you have, not the market that you want.
100%. And it was actually, I made a video like literally a year ago on this day, and it's a video saying, hey, in general, the tech doesn't matter when it comes to actual order books. Like it doesn't really matter. Buy and sells aren't directed by, is the technology super good? It's really directed by, do people just want to fucking buy the coin? And if the marketing's good, et cetera, do they like the token or, stuff like that. And I completely agree with you. I think what's going to end up winning, is basically it's going to be meme coins and then the protocols and stuff that are kind of facilitating the meme coin shit. So it's basically the people who are basically the protocols that are basically selling shovels to the gold rush, like DEXs.
Exactly.
I think barring lending is going to do really, like basically any classic DeFi is going to do good. The Telegram bots are going to do good. All that stuff's going to do good. So I think that's that's what people want.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
What narratives do you think are going to do poorly? We've talked about what's going to do good.
Oh.
What narratives do you think are out of vogue, out of touch, don't have a good product market fit? What do you see being the losers heading into the second leg of the bull market?
I think I know what the losers are. And number one, I would say metaverse cooked. Always hated it.
Technology's not there, man.
It's not, and it sucks. I mean, if you've ever, I hate ragging on projects in general because I know effort's been, gets put in, but like Mana Decentraland, guys, people watching this, have you ever actually tried it before? Like played the game Mana Decentraland? If you haven't, it's fucking horrible. The last time I played it was terrible. I mean, here's the thing. I got a 50x off of Mana last cycle. I bought it 10 cents and ran to $5 after Mark Zuckerberg changed it to Meta. I made a bag, but I was like, this is hot trash. And it's also in, one game, metaverse, which we can go into because I could go on a whole rant about it. Because I did make money on it last cycle, but it's garbage.
Sorry, just to jump in. You can make money on dog shit projects.
Yeah.
It is totally okay. Most crypto technology is fugazi, water wash bullshit, but number goes up. That's what's important.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think gaming sucks. I'm bearish on gaming. Those are like the two main ones where I'm like down. I think SocialFi is kind of trash, but it could pop off. Once again, I think SocialFi is that could potentially pop off.
It's just punching too far above its weight class.
Yeah.
Like it can't compete with X, it can't compete with Instagram. The blockchain technology just can't support social media.
Yeah, it's like,
it can.
And here's the thing, it's with SocialFi, it's like, example, there's this, service on ICP called OpenChat, which I like it because it's like a cool niche thing for nerds, but I'm like, I like it because it's like, I'm not going to, some faggot tries to kick me off of some service, I have like a group chat. But it's like, it's normies, the network effects on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Snapchat are too big. Even if there was a legitimate, I think, competitor on blockchain technology, the network effects are already too strong on like Web2 social media. That's kind of my take on it. But yeah, what do you think are the big losers?
Starting from the top, ISO 222.
Oh no!
Number one on my hit list for losers. There's actually been a major update in that niche that I think a lot of people are looking past. Donald Trump has said there's not going to be a CBDC.
Oh, really?
There's not.
Okay,
yeah, he's going to block a CBDC. And so what's the purpose of ISO 222 coins, by and large, XRP, XLM? It's to create platforms for CBDCs. So I think a lot of people are looking past that. Also because they're like traditional finance cronies are not going to relinquish the existing stranglehold they have on that niche in favor of publicly owned equitable blockchains. So I'm very bearish on ISO 222. And if you had have held S&P, Standard & Poor's 500 largest companies from the start of 2024 until now, you would have outperformed XRP by 45%.
Yeah.
That hurts.
I think XRP is I've always hated on it. I got a ton of shit last cycle for being I was like the main troll of it. Even when it was pumping, I was calling it garbage. But it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to get a little pump from Gensler going away. I mean, they have a cult, so they're in kind of a different...
I mean, that's the thing, right? We're talking about niches and narratives that we don't like, they're still going to go up in value, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everything is going to go up in value. It's just a matter of, is it going to be a leader of the pack or is it going to be a follower? And my perception is that XRP and the rest of the ISO 222 coins are not going to catch substantial bids or maintain serious momentum. Yeah, they're going to go up in value, but I'm not banking on them being top performers this bull run.
Yeah.
And then kind of akin to what you were saying, gaming. I'm pretty bearish on blockchain gaming. Yeah, there's some good products like that have come out, but we need to go back to 2021 games where they're absolute Ponzi's. They last a couple months, but you can make thousands of dollars a day playing them, like Axie Infinity. Or my personal favorite was Step-In. Did you ever do Step-In?
No, but it rings a bell.
It was a Solana-based move-to-earn game where you would buy an NFT sneaker and then you'd go for walks, jogs, or runs outside, and you would get paid in a token.
That's when you know the market's topped. The fucking
Yeah,
step
bro.
outside.
So it was getting popular right around the time that UST blew up. And I had been doing it for like a month or so. And I was like, yo, this is sick. It's getting me outside every day. I'm walking for 30, 40 minutes. I mean, I walk anyways, but like, it's nice to make some additional bread on top of it. And then I went to Hawaii, and me and my girl would go for walks, do like a quick 30-minute walk around, make a couple $1,000s, and then go spend it at dinner. And I'm like, this right here is the future of finance.
Yeah.
And now when I go for walks using the Step-In app, I make like 50 cents.
Yeah, I mean, that... I remember too, I don't know if you remember, it was on Near Protocol. Well, Near was so small back then, but it was called Sweat Economy. It was like the same fucking idea. But I remember that was a thing. I think these were like Metaverse. When Metaverse starts running hot, when gaming starts running hot, if Metaverse catches a bid, which I think it will, if gaming starts running hot, if these step to make money apps start making a lot of money for you, guys, you should probably be exiting the market. The market's super hot at that point. And also, dude, Axie Infinity, you brought that up, dude. That's a throwback. I remember that. That was crazy.
Increased the Philippines' GDP.
Yeah, that was insane. I remember that. That was like absolutely ridiculous. And that's the thing with like some of the gaming stuff is like, and another project, DeFi Kingdoms, which I actually like. The teams are, I met the team in 2023. They're really good guys and stuff. That was a game that popped off. So I don't think when I talk about...
That game was fun. So the way that I see it is GameFi is a high-level problem. It's like a triangle where they can only pick two sides. Number one, a fun game. Number two, longevity. Number three, Ponzi-like rewards that create viral growth. And they can only pick two sides of this triangle. And so they can have a game with longevity that's fun to play, or Ponzi rewards. And nobody's been able to solve it because Ponzi rewards just result in the token going down in perpetuity, which by extrapolation means nobody cares about it. So, I don't know. Blockchain gaming, I think, is kind of doomed to fail.
I think it's going to be one of those things where we're going to see the same thing happen as we did last cycle, where it's going to be there's a couple games that have good, reward mechanisms that are going to pop off and they're going to die off as soon as the bull run ends. I mean, it's going to be the same thing. And the same like Metaverse. Like, I always thought it was dog shit, and I saw everyone promoting it, and I'm like, this is garbage. It's pure. And let's talk about NFTs now. I think NFTs are like, I say this all the time. When NFTs start running hot, you should be selling everything. I mean, I think they're, oh my God. Like you look back on it, Gary Vee trying to, talking about the monkeys are worth millions of dollars and all this other, the crypto skulls. I remember that. I fell for that shit. Like last cycle, I think it's like, if you're a first cycler, don't be mad at yourself if you make mistakes. I remember my first cycle during the NFT hype, bro. Gary Vee's in a fucking space for crypto skulls. Bro, I dropped like $8,000 worth of ETH on the crypto skull, and it probably went to like $100. Like he pumped it, and it went like it was so bad.
Yeah, I agree. I have a graveyard of NFTs as well. Do you think NFTs are going to come back this cycle?
They will. I think they will, but it's going to be niche. It's going to be like meme coins. I feel like it's going to be a niche community. So like Retardio, Milady, Like those will probably pop off. I think Bored Ape will still do good. I think the CryptoPunk will do good. I don't like them. I'm not touching them again this cycle. No matter, I like if it's like okay, I support the project and I want to help out a friend, cool. And I do think they're a good strategy when it comes to like cult building. I think if you,
Yeah. I think meme coins and NFTs go really well in that regard. Like you said, Retardio, they have a coin, they have NFTs, like that it kind of fosters community. But I don't think we're gonna return to like the state we were in 2021, whereas like new NFT collections were having mint dates like every day of the week and you could just make money flipping them. I think blue chips and the cults are gonna do really well. And like you mentioned the blue chips, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, Crypto Punks, Doodles. You could probably put Pudgy Penguins in there, Miladies. Like those that have the culture, the cult are gonna do well. But I don't think we're gonna return to that. We need to be minting NFTs 4 days of the week, 8 hours of the day. Like we can't miss this mint date. Oh, we got to grind for waitlist here. Like I just don't think we're gonna get back there because meme coins are just such like a quicker hit.
yeah, I completely agree. I think the Colts, I mean, like the big proponents of the NFT sector did say this. Like, yeah, most of them are going to end up going to fucking zero. And I think the Colt communities are going to thrive and probably do super well and build big brands off it, like Pudgy Penguins being in Walmart, et cetera. But yeah, meme coins kind of like took over the meme thing. And they're like, dude, that wasn't, you brought that up. Like, gosh, I remember that. It was like every collection. It was literally like, I mean, I wish I would have, I kind of wish I would have done this last cycle. But if you made an NFT project last cycle, you could sell them out for like millions of dollars. It was just like, oh, you didn't have the AI nowadays, but people were just whooping them up in a week and throwing them on the market, and they were selling out for like $2 million. And
There was never a better time to be a digital artist on Fiverr.
Oh yeah, never. And
that was the peak of the Fiverr bull market.
Yeah, and I remember the whitelist and getting I remember that now. And yeah, I completely agree. I don't think we're going to see that same kind of thing happen again. Once again, I think NFTs are a good like marketing mechanism for projects, but in terms of like actual people trading it, etc., I don't think so. But now I kind of want to talk about a project that I know it's not ICP, but I know you really, really, really fucking hate. Well, you don't hate it. I mean, I don't know. I don't like hate any crypto project, but ADA, what happened with Cardano? Like, what happened? What do you like the recent pump? Like, what's going on? Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I put ADA and ICP in the same bucket. It's unproven. It's unproven technology that has zero demonstration of actual integration, adoption, or traction. And so, yeah, Cardano had a great week this week. Do you know why?
Yeah, it's because Charles Hoskinson speculation on being part of Trump's department.
Yes. So Trump's going to form the crypto council that has promised to provide full regulatory framework in America within 100 days of forming. Of course, Charles Hoskinson is rumored to be among the people invited to participate, which is bullish for Cardano because he's probably going to find ways for it to benefit Cardano, a proof-of-stake blockchain. So my problem with layer ones, whether it's ICP, whether it's ADA, whether it's XRP, is very simple. Number one, no protocols, because if there's no protocols, there's no users. Or if there's no incentives for users to come from the corporate side, like if they're not providing developer incentives, I think developer incentives lubricate the flywheel of an ecosystem, right? Because if you bring devs make protocols bring users bring value. And so that's why I put Cardano and ICP in the same bucket, is because when you look at DeFi Llama, their TVL is atrocious relative to their market cap. And by extension, their 24-hour volume is atrocious relative to their TVL and by extension, their market cap. So, I mean, obviously you're an ICP maxi. I know you're not a Cardano maxi, but hopefully you can sympathize with my viewpoint of I like ecosystems that have momentum. I like ecosystems that incentivize developers because that's what brings capital. And liquidity is the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I think you're making completely valid points right now on some of the fronts. What happened with Cardano? Yeah, I mean, I was like, what the fuck is this scam pump garbage? Like, how is it pumping? And then I saw the picture and I was like, oh, okay. Which is going to be interesting. If he gets in, it's actually bullish for Cardano, regardless if the tech's real or not. At the end of the day, it's going to be treated like basically a meme coin. People are going to bid it because, he's with Trump. That's it. So I think if he gets in there, there's a bull case in terms of making money with it. When it comes to ICP, I do, as I said before, I'm a DeFi maxi, but I'm in the ecosystem where DeFi was not supported very heavily. Which there were some, I don't want to like kind of point fingers, etc., but there was kind of a top-down issue in ICP for a long time when it comes to the DeFi. And by that, like the bottom being the ecosystem, the top being the foundation. So there was kind of a top-down ecosystem, top-down issue for a while. But I think a lot of things have gotten better. Of course, the TVL is low once again because it's a top-down issue. But at the end of the day, like we got a liquid staking platform that came out a couple months ago called Water Neuron, which is good. Metapool that started out in Near Protocol, they branched to ICP, another liquid staking platform. Once again, I mentioned this. We got a new DEX about a month ago called KongSwap, which I'm the CMO for. And we're going to be going cross-chain. So with ICP's Chain Fusion. I don't know if you've heard of chain abstraction before, but it's literally the same thing, but it's more fleshed out on ICP. So it's like it's like Near Protocol's documentation for it. They literally mentioned Affinity's work. And now the one thing is, okay, then why hasn't this been done before, et cetera? So this is kind of an interesting thing, but the developers for KongSwap actually made this product, which I think I showed you in Nashville, called Helix Markets. Now, Helix Markets had the cross-chain going and it was super fleshed out, but the issue was they put KYC on it. So they decided to build out a whole new DEX. Which is KongSwap. So in terms of like, oh, can this actually be done? Well, the team did it before. They just did it on a DEX. Unfortunately, they decided to KYC it. But now it's being done over here. And, we're going to be going after the Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem. So you said, you're Bitcoin Maxi and everything, which I know is not Bitcoin DeFi and all that stuff. But if you look at something like Tap Protocol, which is, providing Bitcoin DeFi infrastructure, you go on the website, they have Definity and Internet Computer on there because you're able to actually build Bitcoin DeFi on top of ICP, which is something they don't understand. And once again, a lot of the kind of the issue with ICP has been, there's a top-down issue with DeFi, but a lot of that has been resolved. Like we got a new guy in the foundation who's a C-suite named Pierre, who's very pro-DeFi, because originally a lot of the top people were not that into DeFi for whatever reason, but we have a new guy who came in a couple months ago who's super pro DeFi, et cetera, and the foundation kind of changed their approach. Of course, this is like niche ICP stuff, but the foundation had changed their approach when it came to projects where it used to be, hey, we're going to be kind of friends with everybody and, support everyone. But now it's like, we're going to pick the winners and they're pushing KongSwap, which is a DEX. So I think, and we have, I'm telling him, hey, we need to grow the TVL. We need to grow the TVL. We need to get a native stablecoin. So Definity's in talks with Circle right now, et cetera, to try and get that done. So I think once again, it's like, and I agree with you. If you want to go where the most fleshed out DeFi is, it's not going to be an ICP. ICP DeFi is honestly right now, like if I just have to be completely unbiased, it's a very leveraged bet. You're basically banking on, developers, but there is a solid developer community. And at the end of the day, the way I kind of view things when it comes to an ecosystem, and I don't really like ragging on stuff, but when I talk to the developers, they believe in the mission and stuff. When you go to ADA or Cardano or you go to XRP, there's no actual development going on. And I know the development on ICP isn't as robust as it is in Solana or et cetera, but there's literally nothing. There is no XRP DEX. There's no XRP liquid staking platform.
Wait, I thought Cardano was the number one repository on GitHub for the last 2 years, bro. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't believe any of that fucking GitHub.
No, hell no, brother. They change one line of code.
Yeah,
and ship it out every week so they remain on the top of the stats.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I kind of look for in a project is, that's the thing. This is, very public information, but, I was hired by the Definity Foundation back in early 23. I worked for them, and then I've been working the ecosystem ever since, and I kind of still work with them, pretty closely. So I have I'm very closely in the know on what's going on and what's going to happen. And what keeps me going is the fact that we do have a core group of good developers in the ecosystem. Like once again, the developers for KongSwap, they're good, solid. They were devs in Ethereum last cycle, and they made good money and stuff. So they're not a bunch of jokers, et cetera. And of course, what's the incentive for them to stay? There is, large people with large capital backing the ecosystem. We raised $250K ICP. We raised $2.5 million recently. So it's not like there's the liquidity in ICP right now is very centralized within a couple billionaires. But, we're trying to get the users in. Obviously, to get users, you need DeFi. I think you know that. But
exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to stop ranting. But basically what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of potential, but it's a very leveraged bet at this point. So I think it will have its day in the sun price-wise as well. But when it comes to actual adoption and usage, It's just going to take some time.
As all good things do, right? You can't force users to come. You have to bring them over slowly, riz them up.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. It's like, and that's the thing. It's been a very, well, like I don't want to keep talking about ICP, but it's been a very, I've been in this shit since the bear market, and people don't understand how bad how much better the ecosystem's gotten the last year. I'll give you another example. Like the wallet issue was a big issue. We have 2 new wallets that are coming to the ecosystem. One of them is very nice. You can log in with your Gmail and your Google. So it's a very smooth onboarding process. There's no weird ICP thing. So you're going to be able to come on CoinSwap. Just if you want to make a wallet quickly, get on NFID with your email. Anybody can fucking do that. Your mom has a fucking Gmail, so she can get an ICP quickly. Like these are things that weren't, done. It's just kind of, there wasn't a big focus in the community around DeFi. It was a very, they were doing other things, etc., which some of it worked, some of it didn't. But now there has been a big shift. Like they're pushing DeFi as their number 2 thing. They push Chain Fusion a lot. What was I going to say? Yeah, but I think I'm done ranting about ICP. So unless you have more comments to make, unless you want to, say something.
No,
I want
no,
you to fun.
I want to good. Just the one thing that I recognize as ICP's fatal flaw is the incentive mechanism for stakers.
I
how
never
they
staked.
get paid in US dollars instead of ICP, or they get paid a US dollar amount of ICP. I remember during the bear market lows, I made a video that butted ICP saying, I think it was below $2.75. The inflation rate of ICP is greater than 100%.
Yeah, the death spiral. Yeah, there was fun in the community about this as well, about the ICP death spiral theory and everything, which didn't turn out to happen. But here's the thing. When it comes to that, I don't fucking stake. Personally, like, I don't want to give out financial advice. Probably don't want to stake your tokens. If you do, use Water Neuron, the liquid staking platform. That's a good deal. I like Water Neuron because liquid staking, it was a smart move. I knew it was going to happen. There was a couple of builders in the ecosystem who were eyeing it down because it's an obvious market. There is a lot of, kind of like Cardano, there's a lot of stakers. So it was a good market to target for them. I like Water Neuron a lot. I think they're going to do pretty well. It's a deal where you put in your ICP and then you have the NICP, the redeemable, and you're getting that yield.
Yeah. So. Liquid staking is a huge innovation across all chains.
Yeah, and
actually, it just makes the process so much easier rather than, I'm locked out for a week. Unless there's a lot of withdrawals, then it's 10 days. It's 14 days now. When will I get my money?
Yeah, and when it comes to borrowing and lending, like CoinSwap, we're going to have the borrowing and lending on there. So we have one developer whose job is just building out the borrowing and lending. So we're basically going to be building out the whole suite of DeFi essentially. But I mean, that's what keeps me in the game. That's what keeps me bullish on ecosystems. Of course, it's a more leverage bet. Like Solana is like the most, out of all the alts, I was bullish on Solana before it even got popular and everything. I think it's probably like the most conservative pick. Maybe
at this point, right? The market cap for Solana is over 100 billion. It is the well-established winner. Yeah, there's great gains to be made in its ecosystem, whether you're talking about like DePIN projects in Solana, AI projects in Solana, DeFi, etc. But if you're looking for those truly asymmetric bets, where like you are going where users aren't in anticipation of them coming, Solana is long past that point.
Yeah, for sure. And one coin I kind of want to talk about with you, nobody talks about this. BNB is about to hit an all-time high. BNB is
it's a sleeper, bro. It's a sleeper.
That's another, like, I would say Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, and not Bitcoin, BNB are, like, BNB is a staple. That's like as good of a pick as Solana. Might be even more conservative, honestly, because Binance runs the crypto sector pretty much. I think everyone knows that at this point. But
I agree, they're the real cabal, man.
They are, seeing all the coins getting listed and stuff.
They list something and it instantly goes to $1 billion.
Yeah. So I think, I think BNB is going to do super strong. Crypto.com coin could do pretty good. It popped off recently. It absolutely skyrocketed.
Yeah. After the election, it did pretty well because they were served a Wells notice from the SEC for selling unregistered securities, which again, that's just another thing with this regulatory overreach from the SEC that hopefully will be put behind us after the inauguration in January. I don't know. The exchange coins are in like BNB, Crow, and all of the various centralized exchanges that have coins are in a particularly weird gray area where it's like, well, if the SEC was previously suing them and the SEC gets a new commissioner, is that lawsuit going to get dropped and these coins will fly? I think that is an interesting dilemma because, I mean, if you've ever used crypto.com, you would know that exchange is dog shit.
Yeah, no, I never liked it. I downloaded it on my phone. I never liked it. I use Kraken now. Unfortunately,
the Visa's nice. The Visa payment system where you deposit crypto, swap it to fiat, and pay with your Visa. That's a pretty slick system. I like it. But if you ever try and trade on it, the amount of unknown fees you're going to get hit with is obnoxious.
yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, I mean, any centralized exchange coins. I mean, I'm bullish on the whole sector. Like, that's why, I think there's
Except
some
metaverse.
people who are upset because their bags have not pumped yet, etc. Like, dude, there's going to be massive liquidity rotations. I think pieces of dog shit are going to pump. I think everything is literally going to pump. I think the crypto influencers are going to some of them are going to become like celebrities in the next year.
Well, here's a question. So you're saying everything is going to pump, which is
not
slightly
everything.
different than the point of view that I have. And the reason I'm saying that is, how do I rotate IBIT, the Bitcoin ETF that I have, into a Solana meme coin? How do I rotate that?
You don't? Why would you do that?
How would I rotate my ETH-A, the BlackRock ETF holding, into a CryptoPunk?
Well, the way I see it is, I mean, yeah, I mean,
retail is broke. The people bidding up this market right now is traditional finance standalone. They are providing the single largest source of buying pressure in the market. And so Solana is going to get an ETF this bull market. It's virtually undoubtable. And so in that context, I think, because 2021 was different because people were getting stimmy checks, right? It was helicopter money. People were just getting blasted with capital. We were staying inside and we had nothing better to do than click buttons. In 2024, the context is a bit different because the average American is less than $500 in their savings account. Cost of living is much higher. Unemployment is higher. And so we're not in the same liquidity soup. And so I think traditional finance is going to lead the way with ETFs because they have unlimited money proportional to the size of crypto. And so I think that's part of the reason why gains are going to be quite concentrated in specific ecosystems and specific projects, because we're not in a bubble bath of liquidity like we were in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, you could go into some, I guess, game theory type things, but I do think they're going to ramp up QE in the next couple of months. I think that's 100% going to happen. I mean,
technically they're already engaging in QE depending on how you look at the definition.
Yeah, that is true, but I think they're going to like seriously ramp it up and everything. But I mean, that's the thing. I think also, yeah, you could say retail is broke, etc. But I do think there is a large amount of people who are not in this market that are going to be entering this market that do have sizable money. And I agree on some fronts, but like I don't know. I know what you're saying because
then we also see funds like A16 fucking buying and shilling meme coins on their Twitter, and they manage over like $2 billion.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it's like, okay, like maybe this is where the capital will come from.
Oh yeah, no, I looked at their posts. Yeah, they're constantly shilling meme coins. I mean, I agree. Like the majority of capital. Well, I mean, I think it's going to be kind of the same thing we saw play out last. We'll see what happens. But in my kind of philosophy, we're going to see kind of the similar thing we saw last cycle, where Solana is going to be like ETH the last cycle. I think Sui is going to kind of be like BSC, and then some other emerging ecosystems are going to pop off. Like Polkadot popped off last cycle, the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Don't know why. I haven't really looked at it before. But I do personally believe it's not, I guess not everything, but when it comes to stuff like, I think if you're a top like 50 coin ecosystem, you're going to see time in the sunlight. I think for sure. I think anything in the top 100 that's not, and it's kind of difficult too, because one of the projects I like that's performed so poorly is Atom, Cosmos. And it's so,
I agree. The entire ecosystem
it's so sad. It's so sad.
It's innovative. It's awesome. It's cool tech.
It's good.
Fuck, man, it does not catch
It's so bad. It's so bad. I looked at their chart and I'm like, how has it been down only for the past, since this whole bull market went from, how has it just been down from 10 to 5? They might have just, fucked up the, VCs or whatever, and they've just been dumping on their head. Because it is a cool project. Like, it's actually kind of similar to ICP in some ways, but because there's some work being done between Osmosis, if you know what that is, and the ICP ecosystem. Yep. Yeah, I think Cosmos is a cool project, and the price hasn't reflected. So that's kind of another thing. The tech doesn't always matter. You have to be able to, market and tokenomics. Like I don't know what's going with Atom. I'm actually kind of curious to like what is
What's
driving.
going wrong?
Yeah, what is?
One thing that I will say about Atom in like the larger ecosystem, because behind Atom you have like Injective Protocol, you have Kuji, you have Celestia, et cetera, et cetera. Those projects coming up towards like the March 2024 high when Bitcoin reached $74,000, they displayed their highest degrees of relative strength when Ethereum was rallying. So I think Cosmos is kind of seen as a modular ecosystem because it is. And it displayed its highest degree of relative strength when ETH was rallying. So that was when INJ went up to like $50, Celestia went up to 22, et cetera, et cetera. And so maybe as we head towards an ETH season now, because I think we are heading towards an ETH season, maybe those projects will show some life again. But I agree, the Cosmos token and the larger ecosystem at play have been very disappointing over the months between March and now.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of weird because it hasn't been disappointing in terms of development because they have, I've talked to developers, et cetera, in the ecosystem, so they have real activity, but the price action's just been dog shit, which is unfortunate. But at the end of the day, I think it will have its time in the sunlight, because they have stuff going on. One thing I want to talk to you about is, I don't know if you noticed because I've tweeted about it a lot, ICP and AVAX trade literally the same way. And it's the weirdest thing. I don't know if you've ever looked at this, but they trade so similar. If you look at the ICP chart, if you look at the AVAX chart, it's almost like the same market makers working on them.
I was going to say, do you know what market makers work with them?
I do know who works with, I'm not sure if it's the main one, but I think I know the main market maker for Definity. But
oh, you're right. I've never actually compared AVAX and ICP.
If you look at it, and if you look at when they started the rally in, ICP had its big pump in December. If you look at AVAX, it pumped literally the same time. It's like they're literally the same. It's really weird, actually. If you look at them, it's like, why? There's no collaboration between the two really at all. Besides, I guess, some of the chain fusion stuff ICP is doing, but there's no like.
I'm gonna see what the correlation is between the two. Hold on. ICP. It's probably gonna be like 1.0, man. This is actually interesting.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing ever, which is honestly, that's why when people thought, people are mad about the, ICP BTC price, et cetera. But I'm like, AVAX is doing worse than ICP is on the year, actually, against Bitcoin. So, and I don't think AVAX is trash. I think AVAX is a, decent, DeFi ecosystem, et cetera.
Yeah, majority of the time, the correlation is above 95%.
Is it not really weird? Like,
yeah, it's probably the same market maker.
Yeah, no, I need to. I'll definitely talk to some people about that. I'll figure it out at some point. Maybe after the bull they'll reveal who's causing this to happen.
It's like the Scooby-Doo scene, and behind the mask.
It's the same people. I mean, it's weird because if you look at when AVAX pumped in December of last year, it was literally like 2 days before ICP pumped, and now the charts are just moving at the same rate. Like, I don't know. I think it's like one of the weirdest things. But I think, and also it's kind of like when AVAX starts to move, I think an ICP moves come in. That's kind of the way I'm playing it. Of course, we'll see what happens, but they're literally.
Yeah, the other thing I noticed about AVAX is it's highly correlated to Ethereum. I would put AVAX like kind of in the same niche as projects that would benefit from an Ethereum move, just because it's EVM compatible, so it's easy to bridge from ETH to AVAX. So like if we do see an ETH season, I think that would be a potential moment in time for AVAX, and I guess by extension, off your research, ICP to shine.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's what I mean, like L1s that are down against Bitcoin, AVAX, ICP, and then like a bunch of other ones. But I think they'll have their moment in the sun. Like, I don't think people realize ICP was a top 40, 50 coin, so irrelevant in the bear market. And then one day it shot to 15. One day it went from literally, it was like 47 to 15 on CoinMarketCap, which was ridiculous.
What was the fully diluted market value that ICP launched at? Was it 200 billion?
No, it was more than that. It was 400 billion. Insane. Insane. But here's the thing about that. It's like, there's two ways to think about it, okay? On one side, the chart looks awful. The second thing is there's people in the money. Like, as I said, there is billionaires in the ecosystem. So there's potential whales who can come in and lift the ecosystem up. There's a couple, like literally, it's a couple billionaires backing the entire ecosystem, but like that's what's keeping it afloat and everything. So there is people with a lot of money in it, which is good. Like, I don't really want to get into like who these people are, etc. But
Yeah, no, it's all good.
yeah, no, it's I, and here's the thing, when it comes to like AVAX and stuff, it's literally been in tandem. So I think literally as soon as we see AVAX make a move, I think ICP is going to make a move. I mean, what do you think? It's not a horrible. I don't think it's like a that radical of a thing to say. Like, oh
No, I agree. AVAX actually looks really good on the daily chart. It's just a matter of how far is Bitcoin going to go, because until these layer ones like ETH BTC or AVAX BTC find their local lows, I don't think we're going to see a major run on these layer ones. So it's really just a matter of how far is Bitcoin going to run away, because I mean, dominance for Bitcoin's currently at 60.8, and it's probably going to go a bit higher before we let the alts breathe. So I think really the number one thing that people in crypto who are invested in these, let's call them layer one ecosystems, whether it's AVAX, ICP, Ethereum, etc., look at the Bitcoin ratio, because that is going to tell you when the market is beginning to rotate. Because I mean, dude, like if you pull up any of these charts relative to Bitcoin, it just goes down.
yeah, no, I agree. It's not every coin you have is going to do super well. Like at the end of the day, you could have bought a good coin, good fundamentals like Atom, and you're shitting yourself right now. So it is what it is.
Exactly.
But
Diversification makes you rich, but concentration keeps you rich. No, sorry, concentration makes you rich, but diversification keeps you rich. And so like when I stream and stuff and people like list off like 50 coins that I own or that they own, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with 50 coins? If you have less than 100K in crypto, you probably shouldn't have more than 10.
yeah, no.
And like you gotta spread them out a little bit, And people are like, I don't want Bitcoin. I'm only gonna get a 2-3x.
Yeah.
No, fuck you. Don't be ignorant.
Yeah.
Bitcoin from the bear market lows is let me get the precise number. Bear market lows till now, Bitcoin's up 470%.
All you got to do is buy Bitcoin, basically, if you really want to play. That's why I tell people we're not in, like, bro, if you're not going to be sitting, if you're not doing this professionally, just don't even worry about it. Just buy Bitcoin.
Dude, legit. But like, if people look at their like year-to-date portfolio performance from 2024 until now, I think it is statistically unlikely that people are up more than 111%.
Yeah.
From 2024 until now. And that is Bitcoin's 2024 till now performance.
And it also speaks to how like crazy of a sector crypto is. People are like, no, only at 2x. Like,
legit, bro.
I show,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. Like you show that to somebody who's just an old school TradFi guy who's dealing with stocks. He's like, what the fuck do you mean? This is super volatile, So
yeah, you show a 2x yearly performance to a TradFi portfolio manager, and he's fucking busting out the Moet from the cupboard, shaking it up, spraying down the interns. Man, that shit's crazy. Crypto completely ruins your sense of financial risk. Like being in crypto for one cycle, I would say is probably equivalent to 10 years in TradFi in terms of like the emotional torture that you have to go through to succeed. Because crypto is so integrative. I think that's something that a lot of people like look past and don't understand. Is like, okay, if you want to succeed in crypto, number one, you have to understand blockchain. Number two, you have to understand the crypto market, like different networks, different wallet, how things work, layer ones moving their ecosystem, etc. But if you want to understand that, you have to understand the pitfalls of the traditional finance system. And if you're going to understand that, then you have to look at bonds, index funds, foreign currencies. Like you can't get away with just understanding crypto. You have to understand every pocket of the global capital market.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it takes time. You just got to like kind of do your homework and everything. And also it's not for everybody. So maybe you don't need to be looking into this shit and you just need to be buying Bitcoin on Cash App, which I tell it to most people. I'm like, you guys...
Like, simple is better, bro. Like, you should not be in the trenches.
Don't do this, man. Don't do it to yourself, man. Stay out of it. Hide the kids from fucking Telegram. Don't let them go. Seriously. Oh my God. But yeah. We've been talking for a while. So do you have anything like last remarks or things?
Final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts.
If it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell.
That's a really good one. I think I saw
like,
that
man, the amount of times that I received screenshots from people last bull cycle with 7-figure P&L on a meme and then they didn't fucking sell it. Or the amount of times that people are like, oh my God, my portfolio's going crazy. And then they didn't take any profits and they round trip the entire cycle. Number two would be stay away from Pump.Fund and its copycats.
Ooh.
99.999% of pump fund launches are below a 1 mil market cap 7 days after. So implying that you can find the 0.00001% that isn't, statistically, you're fucked. You're not going to do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Number three is you don't get a gamble if you've lost all your money. So unfortunately, I think Bitcoin should probably compose, if not a majority, close to a majority of your portfolio, because it's your bank account. It is always going to be there. It is the least volatile crypto asset. And if you're looking past Bitcoin because you're not going to make enough money, I think you've lost sight of the plot.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Thank you so much for having me, Aaron.
One last thing I want to add to on that. Just because to your Phantom wallet balance also doesn't mean how much money you have. These shitcoins are very illiquid. You don't want to be caught in these. There's going to be a lot of them that are going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of people who get sent to the meme coin slaughterhouse, but you saw it happen with the, what is it, Giga? Dude, these meme coins are not liquid, so just know you got to sell out, okay? But yeah, I don't have anything. That's it. Do you want to plug your socials?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, TikTok at DeFi _. I try to stream 4 or 5 days a week, live market analysis. I'm also building a pretty cool Solana trading service. We're almost done V2. We had a beta launch. V2 should be coming before the end of the month. Copy trading, on-chain wallet sniping, good stuff like that. Thank you so much for having me, Aaron. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and everybody, you know where to follow me, just right here and everything. And yeah, thank you for coming on, DeFi Daddy.